Why is Brazil a hotspot for financial crime? Why is Brazil a hotspot for financial crime? Its success as a fintech hub is mostly to blame. O que eu vou fazer nesse episódio? Eu vou ler uma história do Economista sobre o crimes financiais no Brasil, porque o Brasil é um hotspot, um lugar com alta frequência e incidência de crimes financiais. Eu vou parar no fim de cada parágrafo para revisar, para olhar, resumir algum vocabulário. É isso, vamos começar no inglês. Why is Brazil a hotspot for financial crime? And the subtitle, its success as a fintech hub is mostly to blame. This is from São Paulo. Não tive escritor no website do Economista, então eu não sei quem escreveu isso, mas vamos usar para fins educativos. So, hotspot. In the title, a hotspot is a place where things have a high incidence or frequency of happening. We use this term in criminology and in criminal justice, but particularly criminology, to describe a place where crimes frequently happen. A hub or fintech is financial tech, financial technology. Think Pix, think PicPay, PayPal, right? There's a lot of different options now and versions. C6, Nubank. A hub is also kind of a term for hotspot, but a hub is a central place for some activity. Silicon Valley is a tech hub. Santos is a industrial hub for importing and exporting. So hotspot, place where something happens a lot. Fintech, financial tech, and hub. Yeah, it's kind of the same as hotspot. But hotspot is more associated with crime and criminal activity. Hub is more associated with general activity, not criminal activity. So let's get started. Brazilians have long been early adopters of fintech. In 2017, an accounting firm found that 2/5 of Brazilians regularly used online banking, one of the highest rates worldwide. In 2020, 44% of customers had a digital-only account, compared with less than 20% in the United States and Canada, according to a survey by Accenture, a consulting firm. That year, the central bank released Pix, an instant payments platform. It has been wildly successful. Today, it has 3 billion transactions a month. That is 5 times more than transactions by debit and credit cards combined. Okay, that's a shocking detail at the end. But early adopters, eu não sei se vocês usam isso em português, no inglês, né? Mas early adopter is someone or some group who adopt or start to use something before it is a trend, before it is trendy. Rates, taxas, right? Rates, taxas, the frequency of something happening per some unit, right? Usually population. A survey. A survey is uma pesquisa, some research, particularly when when researchers or interested parties are asking people questions and getting answers and compiling all of the answers into a number or an incidence or a rate, right? It has been wildly successful. Wildly here means very, extremely successful. Today's been, okay, that's about it. Paragraph 2. This bonanza has attracted cyber criminals. Their main weapon has been the banking Trojan, a program that steals users' account information. According to Kaspersky Lab, a cybersecurity firm, Brazil is the top country for attacks by banking Trojans, with 1.8 million attempted infections from June 2022 to July 2023, which is the latest data available. Globally, 8 of the 13 most popular types of Trojans are made in Brazil. Bonanza, and bonanza is a word that means lots of lots lots of something that is desired. And in this case, it is lots of, from the previous paragraph, lots of fintech, a high rate of people and customers in the fintech industry, so much that it is used, 5 times more than debit and credit cards alone, and that's just Pix. That wasn't even PicPay. That wasn't the other option. That's just Pix. Um, 5 times more transactions than debit cards and credit cards combined. So that's the bonanza they're talking about. The high incidence and availability of fintech, financial technology in Brazil. Their main weapon, yeah, I understand this might be a common word, but it's different than arma, right? The letters, the origin. So weapon, arma, something that you use to attack. Something that you use to attack. A program, I highlighted or pointed out this word just because of the letters. In English, we just say program, right? But this is apparently written by someone who does not use American English or has a weird mix of persuasions and influences in how they spell words. Program. Nothing else. Trojan. I didn't identify Trojan, but let's just say Trojan again. A Trojan is something that steals users' account information. Usually, you have to do something, right? You click on something, and it takes you somewhere else, or you swipe. And I think they explain that in the next paragraph. Cyber, paragraph 3. Cyber criminals initially focused on Trojans as they require little skill to use. However, as banks developed better defenses, criminals were forced to branch out into more complex and lucrative attacks. Brazil's underworld has developed the most advanced point-of-sale malware, which scammers use to filch the bank details from card readers, according to Kaspersky Lab. Known as Prelex, this application can block contactless payments by stopping the short-range connection between a credit card and the payment terminal. The terminal reads, "Error, please insert." When a customer inserts her card and PIN, the malware uses credentials to authorize a fraudulent transaction. During Rio's Carnival in 2016, a hacker used a basic version of the software to remotely take over 1,000 ATMs. Holy hell. Remotely, too. And I should highlight that as well, actually, remotely. I know it's a very common word now for business, right? Remote work. If you're searching on Indeed for work, you'll see that option, remote work. To branch out. Think of a tree. A tree has the wood part going up and then branches that go out. So to branch out is to go in different directions, to go out in different directions from some center area. We use this for people, for kids and young adults, for adults too. Hey, you need to branch out and meet new people. You need to branch out and try working in some different industry. You need to branch out and diversify. So to branch out, diversify. Brazil's underworld. Think of Gotham. Think of areas like 25 de Março, right? And that would be a physical place that we could refer to as an underworld, where there's lots of activity, a lot of it happening informally, and certainly some of it illegally. So the underworld could be a literal place, an actual place, but more figuratively, it's a place, or it's a description rather. It's a description of informal and usually illegal activity, criminal activity. Doesn't necessarily mean it's always bad, but typically, yes, bad things happen in the underworld. but certainly informal transactions and criminal activity would be a staple or a common theme of underworlds. Brazil's underworld, scammers, people who scam other people. Scam is uma esquema, right? A scam, a schema, a scheme, right? A plan to do something illegal. And the underworld, or some places underworld, is full of scammers. To filch, I actually don't know this word. I think to extract, to clandestinely extract. Why don't we check really quick? To steal. Steal something of small value. Okay, I've never heard that word in my life. To filch, to steal something of small value. I would say to swipe. To swipe. Bank details. Okay, not much else here for paragraph 3. PIN, password. PIN is a synonym for password, usually a short password, not a long one for a website, but for your bank card or something. And remotely, we've described this already. Remotely being not local, from outside. Remote work means you work for a company, but not in the company. You work at home or anywhere, right? You don't have to be in a centralized place. The next paragraph. Another example is ransomware, which gangs use to scramble computers and demand money to restore them. In October last year, Brazil's lawmakers met to discuss the increasing use of artificial intelligence in cybercrime too. To scramble, it's a scramble, baby. It's a scramble.
No, it's a scramble, baby. A big one.
Scramble is to mix up. To mix up. Think of scrambled eggs, ovos mexidos, right? Mexer, to mix something up. Next paragraph. The financial losses are big. According to Andre Fleury of Accenture, Brazil is in the top 5 countries. Hey, top 5? For what? For the cost of cybercrime. Not a good top 5. He estimates the figure is around $20 billion per year. That is the equivalent of 0.9% of GDP. Or PB, right? PB. There is some hope, though. Well, what is it? In 2022, a hefty data protection law came into effect, forcing companies to defend consumers' data. Oh my God. They weren't doing that before, I guess. In 2023, Brazil's banks spent $9 billion, that's dollars, on cybersecurity, nearly double the amount in 2019, according to the Brazilian Federation of Banks. The bigger problem is naive customers who fall for scams, says Eduardo Monaco of ClearSale, a Brazilian fraud management company. Until they fully know the risks, there will be plenty more fish in the sea. Eles usaram as letras PH for fish, right? Fish, PH, to fish someone is is a Fintech word, to steal and trick someone, enganar alguém, usually through email. So in this final paragraph, this was the final, yeah. Hefty, big, substantial, substantial data protection law. So it's a big, all-encompassing, pervasive data protection law, not a small, local or thin, right? No, this is a large, substantial data protection law. Naive. I think it's the same in Portuguese. I'm not positive, but I'm just going to say it with the accent. I do believe naive. Fall for is a phrasal verb. Scams, we said, is a schema, right? Trick. To fall for something is to cair no golpe, cair no esquema. To be convinced, to be tricked, and I guess more generally be the victim, to be the victim of something bad, something illegal, some scam or trick. That is it for the reading. Some of my thoughts on the first paragraph, fintech. Yeah, this was very different for me coming to Brazil, seeing how many people had a point of sale credit card machine. The guy selling popcorn outside the metro takes credit card. In the U.S., I haven't lived there in about 6 years, but no, that was not common. There were a lot of places that would encourage cash only. There were a lot of places that charge you an extra fee for using credit cards, not debit cards usually, but credit cards, yes. So it was shocking to me, not because I had an expectation in Brazil that it would be bad or less technologically advanced, but it was so far ahead of my experience in the US and Spain and Barcelona. It was so far ahead. And in Barcelona, it's a whole different universe. Barcelona is a place that they don't take debit card. You have to pay in cash. And this was 7 years ago. So a bit shocking to me that, yeah, wow, everyone has a little machine here everywhere. And then another shocking thing to me was the delivery. This changed now, but the delivery drivers for Uber Eats or whatever, the motorboy also had the machines. Now they don't use those because of the exact problem mentioned in the article, the point of sale schemes and Trojans. So, but yeah, that's my thought. It's not shocking after living in Brazil for 5 years, 6 years, that they have the highest rate, one of the highest rates of online banking. There's banks here that are purely online that you can't. This was new for me too. This new bank can't go into the bank. It's only online. And I don't remember that in my time in the U.S. Certainly not in Spain because I didn't have access to banking there. Paragraph 2. Yeah, this one I guess like many other Brazilians, yeah, they tried to get me. Uber Eats. This was about 4 years ago. I just had a baby, and I remember. Yeah, I smoked a joint. It was late at night. It was maybe 2 a.m. I was awake. Everyone else was sleeping. Perfect time when you have a new baby because you're going to be awake. Um, Perfect time to relax, have food finally. Christ. So I order Uber Eats. I'm a little bit stoned, but I go downstairs, and the guy tells me he kind of has my food in the bag in one hand. And he has the machine in the other. He's telling me as he's handing, this is his mistake. He hands me the bag of food, tells me, "Hey, there's an extra charge that wasn't completed on the app." And I've been using Uber Eats for 6 years in the U.S. and Brazil, in Spain, and so that was very strange. I never not one single time paid in the delivery, right, in the little machine, the credit card machine, never. So I'm thinking this is strange. I was very late. I was tired. I kept telling the guy. Well, first I walked upstairs. The doorman, o porteiro, me ligou para falar que ele está esperando mais pagamento. That was confusing to me. So I checked my online bank really quick. I logged on, checked. I saw that the payment was completed. I saw that on Uber Eats, the payment was completed. So very confused, tired, a little bit stoned. I walked downstairs again, 2 a.m., and the guy keeps telling me I need to pay or else he's going to get fucked, right? He's telling me he's going to get fired from his job. This is all in Portuguese. My Portuguese was not good, so this was also confusing. The doorman is watching all of this happen. Who knows what he was thinking, if I was being an asshole or if he recognized the criminal activity. And so I kept telling the guy, "Look, man, hey, I'm sorry about your job. I'm a customer of Uber Eats. I'm not your boss. I'm not administration. I'm not a manager. Your business with Uber Eats is between you and them." I gave the man my WhatsApp number and I said, "Hey, you can call me if you lose your job. I'll do a depoimento. I'll tell them that, hey, Uber Eats, the app said it was complete. He's telling me something different. He didn't do anything wrong." I gave him my WhatsApp number. He's getting mad at me now. He's yelling at me. He's yelling at me about, this bad situation I've created for him by not paying, not sticking my credit card in his machine. And then I start calling him a crook. I started realizing that, yeah, no, this is not normal. And so I basically told him to go F off, and I walked upstairs. But again, I also told him before I walked up and after I told him to F off, I did remind him, "Hey, you have my WhatsApp number. Call me or text me if you need me to talk to Uber Eats, but I don't work for them." So I'm going upstairs and I'm going to eat my food. And I think I already ate my food. I'm going to go to sleep. A couple of weeks later, I get a text on my WhatsApp from an English school that exists on paper. It exists on Google Maps. It was a holiday. They were closed on Google Maps. I get a text saying, hey, come in today for an interview. We loved your resume. I didn't send them my resume. Come in for an interview. I checked the location that they sent me for the interview, and it was inside of a metro station in the East Zone, not where the school was on Google Maps. And very quickly, I realized that this is the guy, the delivery driver who, I gave my WhatsApp number so he could hopefully not get fired from Uber Eats. He's texting me, or he gave my number to someone, and they're texting me trying to get me to go outside into some metro station, probably get jumped or robbed. So it was just terrible. It only happened once, but I hope you enjoyed the reading and the short convo. Why is Brazil a hotspot for financial crime? And they tell us right in the beginning, lots of fintech users.